Meri Brown has shocked Sister Wives fans yet again. After walking away from her spiritual marriage to Kody Brown, many believed she would also drop his last name for good. But in a surprising twist, Meri has revealed why she's still holding on to the Brown surname, and her explanation is sparking major debate. Is it loyalty, legacy, or something much deeper? The truth behind her decision might just change the way fans see her entire journey. For more than a decade, Sister Wives has captivated audiences with its raw and unfiltered look at the complexities of plural marriage. From the very first season, viewers watched as Kody Brown navigated life with 4 wives and 18 children, each chapter bringing new challenges, conflicts, and dramatic twists that kept fans glued to their screens. Among the wives, Meri Brown always stood out. Not just because she was Kody's first wife, but because her journey through heartbreak, betrayal, and reinvention has been one of the most openly emotional arcs in the family's story. Now, even after officially ending her spiritual marriage to Kody, Meri has stunned fans yet again by revealing the real reason she refuses to drop his last name. What she shared has sparked widespread discussion, with fans both criticizing and defending her decision, and it has once again reminded viewers why Meri remains one of the most compelling figures in the Sister Wives universe. Meri Brown, born Meri Barber, entered Kody's life long before the world knew who the Brown family was. The two married in 1990, at a time when the idea of being a polygamist family on national television was unthinkable. As the first wife, Meri helped lay the foundation for the sprawling family Kody would later build with Janelle, Christine, and eventually Robin. For years, she was not only the matriarchal figure of the household, but also the woman who had been by Kody's side from the very beginning. Fans often point out that without Meri, there might not have been a Sister Wives at all. Despite their long history, however, their marriage began to fracture as time went on, eventually leading to the emotional split that played out before millions of viewers. By the time Meri publicly confirmed that her relationship with Kody had ended, fans were expecting her to embrace a complete reinvention. She had already opened her bed and breakfast, Lizzie's Heritage Inn, in Utah, which became not only a business, but also a symbol of her independence. She shared motivational posts on Instagram, embarked on personal growth journeys, and even hinted at exploring life outside of the shadow of Kody's control. With all these moves signaling freedom, many assumed one of her first steps would be dropping the Brown surname and reclaiming her maiden name. Yet, Meri has chosen not to. And now, she's finally explaining why. The revelation came during a candid conversation where Meri admitted that her connection to the Brown name goes far beyond her marriage to Kody. She explained that for more than 30 decades, she has built her identity not only as Meri, but as Meri Brown. The name is not just about her former husband, it is also tied to her child, her family's legacy, her professional endeavors, and the identity she has established in the public eye. Dropping the name, she explained, would feel like erasing a huge part of her life story. While some fans see her reasoning as empowering, others interpret it as a refusal to let go of Kody's hold on her life. For many women, divorce comes with the question of whether to keep or abandon a married name. Some hold on to it because of their children, wanting to maintain a sense of unity in the family. Others keep it for professional reasons, especially if they have built careers and reputations under that name. In Meri's case, both factors apply. Her daughter, Leon, continues to share the Brown surname, and Meri herself has lived as Meri Brown for most of her adult life. To suddenly revert to Barber, she admits would feel like stepping back into an identity that no longer fits. It would erase the decades she has lived under the Brown name, with all the growth, challenges, and triumphs that came with it. This explanation struck a chord with many fans who had assumed her refusal to drop the name was linked to lingering attachment to Kody. Instead, Meri's reasoning highlights a more nuanced truth. The name Brown has become more about her journey than about her ex-husband. She acknowledges that while Kody was a central part of her story, she has grown far beyond being defined solely by her marriage to him. Keeping the surname, in her view, is not about clinging to Kody, but about owning her narrative and refusing to let him dictate whether or not she gets to carry that identity forward. That said, reactions among fans have been polarizing. Some see Meri's choice as a bold statement of self-empowerment. By keeping the name, she is reclaiming it and redefining what it means on her own terms. Others, however, believe it is a sign that she has not fully severed emotional ties with Kody. Social media has been buzzing with debates, with fans questioning whether Meri's explanation is genuine empowerment or hidden longing. Many have pointed out that Christine Brown, for example, has embraced her independence more visibly, proudly stepping away from the Brown identity. The comparison has only intensified discussions about Meri's motivations. Meri herself has remained clear that her decision is deeply personal and not intended to make a statement about anyone else. She has emphasized that her journey is not about competing with Christine, Janelle, or even Robin, but about honoring her own truth. For Meri, the Brown surname represents a history that shaped her into who she is today, and letting it go would feel like denying that past. She recognizes that the past is not always pretty. Her marriage to Kody was filled with public heartbreak, struggles with trust, and feelings of neglect. But she has also acknowledged that it made her stronger. Keeping the name, then, is not about nostalgia, but about honoring the resilience she found within herself during those years.
What makes Meri's revelation so powerful is the honesty with which she shared it. She did not sugarcoat her reasoning or attempt to please everyone. Instead, she stood firm in her truth, acknowledging that while her decision may not make sense to all, it makes sense to her. In doing so, she has once again shown the vulnerability and strength that have made her such a relatable figure to so many viewers. Fans who have experienced divorce or heartbreak themselves know that the decision about whether to keep or change a last name is never simple. For Meri, it is a reflection of her growth, her identity, and her refusal to let someone else dictate her choices. As Sister Wives continues into new seasons, Meri's role remains a subject of fascination. With Christine and Janelle forging ahead into lives independent from Kody, and with Robin still tied closely to him, Meri's journey occupies a unique space. She is both part of the family's history and a woman carving out her own path. Her refusal to drop the Brown name underscores that complexity, reminding fans that she cannot be neatly categorized as simply Kody's ex or as a woman moving on. She is both, and she is more. The cultural significance of Meri's decision also adds another layer to the discussion. In many societies, women are expected to drop their ex-husband's name after divorce as a symbolic act of closure. But Meri is challenging that norm, showing that identity is not always so straightforward. Her decision invites fans to question their own assumptions about marriage, divorce, and the meaning of names. Is a last name just a label, or is it a reflection of a person's life story? For Meri, it is clearly the latter. As debates rage online, one thing is certain. Meri's choice has once again put her at the center of the Sister Wives conversation. Whether fans agree or disagree, they cannot stop talking about her. And that speaks to her enduring impact on the show's legacy. She has never been afraid to walk her own path, even when it drew criticism. And this decision is no different. By revealing the real reason she refuses to drop Kody's surname, Meri has reminded viewers that she is more than just a former wife. She is a woman reclaiming her identity on her own terms. Ultimately, Meri's decision is about authenticity. She has lived as Meri Brown for 30 years, and that is who she feels she is. While her marriage to Kody may have ended, her life as Meri Brown continues, and she is determined to shape that identity in ways that empower her rather than diminish her. Whether fans see it as strength or weakness, the truth is that Meri alone gets to decide how she defines herself. And in the world of Sister Wives, where identities are often shaped by polygamy, family ties, and public scrutiny, that act of self-definition is nothing short of revolutionary. Meri Brown's revelation may shock fans, but it also challenges them to think more deeply about the meaning of names, the legacy of relationships, and the ways in which we carry our past into our future. Her refusal to drop Kody's last name is not about clinging to him. It is about refusing to let him erase her story. And for a woman who has spent years finding her voice in a family that often silenced it, that decision is perhaps the boldest one she has ever made. For more than a decade, Sister Wives has been a reality television phenomenon that has pulled back the curtain on a family dynamic unlike any other on television. Kody Brown and his 4 wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, invited cameras into their lives, their homes, and their hearts, showing millions of viewers the ups and downs of living in a polygamous marriage. But among the wives, Meri Brown has always had a particularly complicated and emotional journey. She was the first wife, the one who laid the foundation for the entire Brown family, before the cameras ever rolled. And yet, her marriage to Kody crumbled before fans' eyes in a heartbreaking saga of distance, rejection, and eventual separation. Even after their relationship ended, however, Meri has shocked fans with one striking choice. She continues to go by the last name Brown. Now, with her secret finally revealed, the world is learning the surprising and deeply personal reason why she is holding on to Kody's surname even now. Meri was born Meri Barber and met Kody Brown long before the idea of starring in a reality show was even imaginable. In 1990, she became his first wife, and for a long time, she was seen as the pillar of the family. She endured as Kody courted Janelle, Christine, and finally Robin, and while plural marriage often tested her patience and strength, she remained a key part of the family's foundation. Her role as the first wife was both a privilege and a burden. Fans saw her struggle with loneliness as Kody's attention spread across other relationships, and they saw her attempt to repair a marriage that seemed to be slipping away with every passing year. When she finally announced that her spiritual marriage with Kody had ended, many believed that Meri would take that moment to reclaim her maiden name and fully separate her identity from the man who had hurt her. But she chose not to, and that choice has been a point of speculation for years. The question of why Meri has clung to the Brown surname has become one of the most debated topics in Sister Wives fan circles. Social media groups buzz with speculation, and episodes of the show continue to hint at the tension between Meri's desire for independence and the undeniable ties that still bind her to Kody's family. The revelation of her reasoning provides a window not only into her personal heart, but also into the larger theme of identity and self-definition after the end of a long relationship. In a candid moment, Meri revealed that keeping the name Brown is not about Kody at all. Instead, it's about her. She explained that she has lived as Meri Brown for 30 years, far longer than she ever lived as Meri Barber. That name, she says, carries her life story. It carries the struggles she endured as a plural wife, the triumphs she achieved in building businesses, the legacy she shares with her child, and the public identity she has created over more than a decade of reality television. To discard the Brown surname, she insists, would be to discard a massive part of who she has become.
The backlash from fans has been mixed. Some applaud her bravery, saying that she is reclaiming the Brown name and redefining it on her own terms. They argue that Meri has every right to hold on to a surname that represents decades of her life and a legacy that belongs just as much to her as it does to Kody. Others, however, are more critical. They claim that Meri's insistence on keeping the name shows she has not fully moved on, that she remains tethered to a relationship that has long since died. The contrast between her and Christine is often highlighted in these debates. Christine proudly embraced her independence, stepping out from under the shadow of Kody and forging a new identity in her post-Brown life.
Many believe Meri could follow the same path, but Meri herself maintains that her journey is different and her choices should not be compared to anyone else's. The professional side of her decision is also significant. For over a decade, viewers have known her as Meri Brown. Her social media accounts, her appearances on the show, and even her business ventures like Lizzie's Heritage Inn are tied to the Brown identity. Rebranding herself as Meri Barber would not only feel strange to her personally, but could also alienate fans who have followed her story under the Brown name. For someone who has built a following and a business around her identity, the decision to keep her name is also practical. She acknowledges this, but makes clear that it is not just about business. It is about authenticity and about staying true to who she has become. The secret Meri has now revealed is that holding on to Kody's surname is not about him. It is about her legacy. For years, she felt unseen, unloved, and unwanted in her marriage, but she also recognizes that those years shaped her. The surname Brown, while once a painful reminder of a marriage gone wrong, is now a reminder of her resilience. She wants to prove to herself and to the world that she can carry that name with pride, not because of Kody, but because of everything she survived while being Meri Brown. This perspective has sparked a larger conversation about the meaning of names in the context of divorce and separation. For many women, changing a name after divorce is seen as a step toward freedom and closure. But for others, the name becomes part of their identity, something they are not willing to give up simply because the relationship ended. Meri's decision highlights the deeply personal nature of this choice. There is no one right answer, and her refusal to follow the expected path is a reminder that identity is never as simple as just a surname. The cultural significance of her decision is even more striking when viewed through the lens of polygamy and the sister wives narrative. For years, the wives' identities were intertwined with Kody's as part of a family unit. Christine and Janelle have stepped into new roles outside of that family, proudly carving out lives where Kody is no longer at the center. Robin remains tied to him as his only legal wife, and Meri occupies the unique space of being both an insider and an outsider. She is no longer married to Kody, but she is still part of the family's legacy, and by keeping the Brown surname, she asserts that she cannot simply be erased from the story. Her revelation also speaks to a broader theme of control. Fans often criticize Kody for treating his wives as though their identities revolved around him. By keeping the Brown surname, Meri flips that script. She is making the name about her, not about him. In a way, it is an act of defiance, a way of taking something that once symbolized her subjugation and transforming it into a badge of survival. She is not Kody's wife anymore, but she is still Meri Brown, and she gets to decide what that means. As Sister Wives continues to unfold in new seasons, fans will no doubt keep watching Meri's journey with fascination. She remains one of the most emotionally transparent members of the family, unafraid to show her heartbreak,